You remember Bud Abbott and Lou Costello with Who's on First? You know, well, who's on first? I don't know who's on second. And Ripken's at shortstop. And he really is, in a way here, because you see the hat? Guess where I am? Ripken Stadium, Leidos Field, Aberdeen, Maryland. I'm Ken Kidrowski, and you're on location. Ken Kidrowski here. We're on location. We're on location at Leidos Field at Ripken Stadium in Aberdeen, Maryland. And I'm sitting right across from Matt Slatus. Matt, thanks for taking a chance and talking with me today. I mean, my knowledge of baseball is somewhere between Topps baseball cards and Masson. Somewhere in between there is my baseball knowledge. So,
well, you fill a range, Ken, that I think most people sit in.
So, yeah, I used to pitch those cards. I don't know. Do kids do that anymore? Pitch baseball cards?
I put them in my bike spokes. So
there you go.
Yeah.
You don't look that old, but you did that.
I'm old enough for the bike
spokes.
Well,
yeah, I guess. Okay, fine. Well, we have an appreciation in baseball cards.
For sure.
Anyway, at the minor league level, what does a GM do?
So it's funny, I think that my title is very misleading to most people.
Okay.
I don't do what your major league GM does. What Mike Elias does with the Orioles is focused on building the team, putting the guys on the field that will ultimately get the club to win a World Series. What I do is completely different. I oversee the business operation of the minor league clubs. So everything from ticket sales to marketing to corporate partnerships. I like to tell people, particularly those breaking into the industry, that a minor league baseball team is no different from any other type of business. We've got a legal department, we've got a finance department. We have everything that any other business has. We just get to have a whole lot more fun while we operate that business.
Now today it's too quiet here.
It is.
I mean, the birds are chirping, and the gentleman out there, well, he's gone. He was putting down the fertilizer on the grass. I mean, that was a little bit of action, but otherwise the wind is blowing, and it's a wonderful day out here. But you know, you don't hear the crack of the bat. You don't hear the concession stands popping popcorn.
You don't hear that, but what you're not seeing, what you're not hearing is on the business side of what we do, this is when the magic happens.
Oh yeah.
We've got 30 real smart individuals in our offices who are planning zany promotions that'll take us through all summer. We've got a chef who's trying to figure out how many meats he can pile on a hot dog and generate some press for it. We've got mascots that are stretching and warming up and prepping for baseball season. We've got a ticket director who's figuring out how we print and distribute 150,000 tickets over the next couple months. There's a lot going on, but I do miss the scent of popcorn and hot dogs, and I'd love to sit here and share a cold beer with you.
Yeah.
But we're a few weeks away from that still.
I understand. Now, okay, you are in the business of selling those tickets, and the promotions help a great deal at the minor league level. So what are some of the promotions that are coming up this season?
We're in the business of fun, and we get to plan, in essence, 38 weddings in 38 days, 38 massive parties for 6,000 people every night. So this summer, we'll have a Star Wars night game at the ballpark where during our fireworks celebration, you'll see Luke Skywalker on the field performing a lightsaber display. You'll see Darth Vader out there, all the Star Wars music. Throughout the night, you'll see probably 50 to 100 Star Wars characters on the concourse. We're gonna do the same thing on Wizard Night with Harry Potter.
Oh, you
Harry,
do that? Okay.
Quidditch, everything that makes those movies so special and those books so special will be down at the ballpark. And for the true sports fan, we don't want to ignore them either, particularly with our owner. Cal Ripken Jr., baseball's Iron Man, is the owner of our club.
Yeah, we're going to get to Cal. We have to.
Well, we'll talk more about Cal, but this summer, it's the 24th anniversary of the 21-31 streak. And what Cal's family has done in bringing baseball to Harford County, to the upper Chesapeake region, we're going to recognize the entire family this year. August 3rd, we're going to rename the team. That's one of those fun things that you can do in
What are you
minor league
going to
baseball.
rename them this year?
So this year we're going to be the Legacy.
Oh, okay, well.
Yeah, tasteful, fun. We've got a really cool cap that commemorates Cal's streak on the side. It's got a silhouette of his signature batting stance on the front. And he'll be here that night along with his mom, Vi, his brother, Bill. We want to honor, we want to recognize not just who the IronBirds are, but what Cal and Bill's leave behind has been for baseball. So youth baseball played throughout the globe. Cal's the commissioner's ambassador to growing the youth game. Youth baseball played right here in Harford County in Aberdeen at our complex next to Ripken Stadium, and obviously the IronBirds. So we'll recognize the family that night as the Legacy. It's going to be a fun summer. I mean, promotions every Friday and Saturday night, fireworks every Friday. Families can actually play catch on the field before every single one of our Saturday games. We want to be fun, we want to be different, and we want families to come out and have a great, affordable night here.
How is it to work for a baseball god? Small G.
I still have to pinch myself.
Yeah.
You know, after 2 years, I get to show up in an office.
Does he show up often?
Cal's here pretty frequently. You know, he loves. You gotta look around. But that's the thing with him. You never know when he's gonna walk by.
Oh yeah.
And when your boss played in 2,632 consecutive games,
that's right.
Not just me, but my entire staff, we have to bring it every day.
Yeah, you have to bring it every day.
Can't take a sick day when your boss never
Yeah,
took
you can't
one.
fool him. I think he knows the game a little bit.
For sure.
You think he does.
But he's, you know, in the last 20 plus years since he's retired, or I guess 15 plus years, he's become one heck of a businessman. He's really taken the same energy and approach to what he did on the field into the business world. And I was very fortunate when I joined the IronBirds about 2 years ago. I inherited one of minor league baseball's premier franchises.
Yeah.
And the opportunity, since you asked me what it's like to work for him, the opportunity to pick a mind like that, to learn work ethic, to learn development, just to be able to bounce ideas off that brain for me has been one of the most satisfying, fulfilling pieces of my career so far.
I was going to say, you said something that I never thought would come out of your mouth. You said the word Cal Ripken and retired in the same sentence. So, I mean, because he's everywhere. I mean, he's commentating on TV. Yeah, you see him in the stands at a Masson game, or rather an Oriole game on that network. And, of course, he's right behind this team. So, I mean, the man must never stop. The man must never sleep.
I don't know if Cal sleeps. He's done a tremendous job of creating this second career and, being incredibly successful, globally successful in his first career, and now doing something similar in career number 2. I hope we all have that opportunity at some point.
Well, for the folks at home, they might know more, they may think they know more about Major League Baseball, but then when it comes to the farm teams, what exactly is that relationship between the big team and the farm teams? I mean, what do you get? What do they shower you with for being a part of their farm?
So we're very fortunate in the relationship that we have with the Baltimore Orioles, obviously owned by one of their all-time greats. But being 20 minutes down the road from downtown Baltimore, all the players that our fans see on this field are Baltimore Orioles players. This year, the Orioles are lucky enough to have the first pick in the first round of the amateur draft. For all we know, that individual may be an IronBird come opening night, June 14th. Mm-hmm. All of our players are under contract with the Orioles, and this is usually step 1 or step 2 in their baseball careers. So our players are between the ages of probably 18 and 22. Some of them may have played a season in the Gulf Coast League, which is down in Sarasota. Some of these guys that play for the IronBirds this year will probably be drafted out of college. And all of our coaches are also Orioles coaches. So our job is to provide the team with a safe environment to live. Jack Graham on our staff handles all of our player housing. And believe it or not, these players actually stay with host families. Just like you see in the movies, our players are staying in local family homes, interacting with kids, eating dinner with families. As they start their professional journey, they're still professional baseball players who show up and play 7 days a week, but they're not flying on private jets. We arrange all their busing. We arrange lunch and dinner for them at the ballpark every day, snacks. We handle as much as we can for them outside of what takes place between the lines. Because when they step on that field and they're between the lines, They're under the direction, they're under the tutelage of Orioles coaches who are really some of the best in the world.
Okay, and you're in the, what league are you in?
We're in the New York Penn League.
Okay, but you're in the New York Penn Maryland League.
Yeah, we're in the New York Penn Maryland, Ohio, Vermont, West Virginia League.
So what's the farthest team that you have to travel to in the league?
So these guys this year will actually go up to Burlington, Vermont. So they'll finish a game in Aberdeen probably about 10 or 11 o'clock at night, get on a bus right here, hit the road to Burlington, a solid 8-9 hours or so, and play the next day at 5 p.m. So
I hope that's a comfy bus.
It's not as comfy as you would hope.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But that's the grind. That's the life of a minor league ball player. Manny Machado played here. Jonathan Scope played here. Trey Mancini played here. And they all went through it. And I think that this is where you cut your teeth so that when you get to the big leagues and you get that $300+ million deal like Manny just did, you have an appreciation for what you're inheriting. You have an appreciation of what it takes to be great. And when I talk to Cal and we have these discussions frequently, he didn't have this when he played in the minor leagues. He didn't have 6,000 seats and luxury suites, kitchens. He played on basically high school fields with bleachers.
This stadium, this ballpark, looks like a miniature major league. I mean, yeah. And for those of you who've never been out to the field here in Aberdeen, right across from the park is like a miniature warehouse, just like in downtown Baltimore. But it's not a warehouse; it's a hotel.
It's two hotels,
two hotels in one end. But the building looks like the warehouse. I mean, what genius was that? Who sat down and scoped that out, or wrote out the directions for that when this place was being built?
On the flip side of that building, we have our Cal Seniors Yard, which is owned by our Cal Ripken Sr. Foundation nonprofit that Cal and Bill started in honor of their late dad. That's actually a 3,000-seat youth baseball replica of Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Beyond that, we've got 6 or 7 other baseball fields for kids to play on. And this, when we talked earlier about the legacy, this is really Cal's legacy. The leave behind in Maryland, our youth complex in South Carolina, our youth complex in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and then nearly 100 fields that the Cal Ripken Sr. Foundation has built for kids around the country.
Now in the summer, while people are playing, what do they call it? A Little League up there in the middle of Pennsylvania.
Right.
There's another organization that plays some serious junior ball here.
Yeah, so we operate youth baseball tournaments, we operate summer camps for kids, and we do that from St. Patrick's Day weekend in March through Thanksgiving Day in November. As best we can make baseball a 12-month-a-year game, we try our hardest to do it. Youth baseball in those early parts and late parts of the summer, and then professional baseball right here at Leidos Field all summer long. This is, in my eyes, kind of the Disney World of baseball.
Well, it is. Yeah, it is. And I'm looking across, I can see the team store. And I imagine that when you have the Legacy Night or the Legacy, there'll be special, you'll have the Legacy hats there for sale.
We've got plenty of merchandise. It's also available now on IronBirdsBaseball.com.
Signed autographs with Cal Ripken.
We've got some signed Cal autographs.
Billy Ripken.
For sure. Yeah. The other thing that we're doing this summer, it's something we were early adopters to, but it's now taken storm in minor league baseball. We're also renaming the team for one night after Maryland's favorite crustacean, the steamed crabs. So going into season 3 of the steamed crabs here, we play one game. This year it'll be Friday, July 19th, as the Aberdeen steamed crabs. We've got a different mascot that night, Calvin the Crab.
Oh, gee.
The team wears different uniforms.
It's not a can of Old Bay.
It's not a can of Old Bay, but there's plenty of that here.
Yeah, I bet there is, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we showered old Calvin in some Old Bay.
Yeah.
But it's another way to have fun. And my counterpart, the general manager of the club in Connecticut, the Connecticut Tigers, also part of the New York Penn League, he's going to bring his Tigers team down here that night. Instead of playing as the Tigers, though, they're playing as the Connecticut Lobster Rolls. So we've got a seafood showdown on Friday, July 19th, your steamed crabs versus your lobster rolls. It's, this is the crustacean castle.
And when I look this way, that's where the crab feasts are held out there.
This is the only ballpark in America where you can grab a bag of steamed crabs and hack away at your seats just like you might eat peanuts elsewhere.
Well, like you said, this place is the Disneyland of baseball. And Matt Slatus, I want to thank you for taking the time.
Thank you so much.
What we're going to do right now is we're going to take a look around the stadium. We might even see some scenes of what's going on last year with the team, and we'll be right back on location. Okay, I'm glad you stuck around. I'm glad you're still here. Ken Kudrowski still on location with you from Ripken Stadium in beautiful, well, not downtown Aberdeen, but on the outskirts of Aberdeen, Maryland. Close enough, close enough. And we're here, oh, that's Leidos Field out there. And isn't that beautiful? I mean, I'd like to have the guy who does your field do my front lawn.
Oh,
I'd like to have one of those lawns that the neighbors go, oh, Ken, how do you do it? How do you do it? Well, anyway, before I go much further, this is Jack Graham over here. Jack, thanks again for being here.
Of course.
Well, you know, here I am welcoming you to your own turf. That seems strange, but anyway, you're the assistant GM. So, what does an assistant GM do?
Sure. Well, I get all the fun jobs. I get all the jobs that.
Yeah, you mean, is that you being sarcastic?
No, no. I genuinely get to make this place into a fun, safe, clean experience for our fans. I like to say that if you've come and had a great time and didn't have any problems and frankly don't know who I am, then I probably did my job right.
There you go.
I get to work with the fan hosts. Those are the people who take your ticket and show you to your seat and monitor your kids in the kids zone and really make sure that your experience is A+. I work with those people on a daily basis and make sure that they are armed with all of the tools that they need to really make sure that fans have a good time.
Now, as I look around here, I'm looking at some of the concession stands, which of course are closed. Of course, I had to pick a day when, you know, they're not open to be here. But anyway, so what if somebody wants to stuff themselves silly when they're here? What's some of the stuff they can stuff themselves with?
You know, a lot of the really fun recent stuff that we've put in is very exciting. We have a hot dog that has chicken tenders and pulled pork right on the bun. You can have barbecue from our barbecue stand. We have a taco and burrito cart here at the ballpark, along with a Philly cheesesteak cart. We're introducing new fun desserts this year that I think people are really gonna like. And just in general, the ball game is so much more than just hot dogs and Cracker Jacks. Not that we don't still have those, we do, but really people are looking for fun, exciting things. And you look around the landscape of minor league baseball and food is really driving a lot of the excitement.
Well, food is, and you know, special events. You know, when I was talking to Matt, you know, before the break, you know, like we talked about, like Star Wars night is one of the events. Can you think of some other events during the season that,
you know, people come to us for fun, and there's a lot of ways to create fun. Obviously, fireworks are a given in minor league baseball, and we've got 6 different fireworks nights on Fridays this year, but we've also got fun traveling entertainment. We have an extreme pogo group that's gonna come and have a really great time bouncing around our field. We have acrobats, we have performers. We are gonna have a talent show again this year, Hartford's Got Talent, where we find secret hidden talents in our local community. There's a lot of reasons why people should come out to the ballpark and be a part of this atmosphere.
I've got to ask you this question. Do you shoot T-shirts into the stands?
Well, you know, we've got to stand pretty far back because the cannon shoots pretty fast.
Oh, you have a cannon that does
We have a T-shirt cannon. Sometimes we have to throw them if we've got too many T-shirts.
You don't have a pneumatic gun or something?
Well, we've got the cannon that shoots pneumatically. We had slingshots. I think we've still got those somewhere. We try to make it as engaging and interactive as possible.
Yeah, don't tell Armstrong, but I'd be glad to come out for free to do it.
Oh, you're in. You're signed up.
Bang. Okay. Well, okay, you're dealing with all these young guys, just comparatively new to ball. So, I guess what I've learned is that you've got a bunch of families who are gracious, loving,
yes, very generous,
and brave to take in these professional ball players into their house. I mean, I hope that these people who do this never saw the movie Major League. So,
you know, it's very different than a Class AA guy who, you know, is going and is trying to get to the big leagues. These guys are brand new ball players, like you said, and one of the really exciting things about that is we get to teach them really how to be ball players. Matt always says that Derek Jeter didn't show up and become Derek Jeter the day he got to the Bronx. You know, he was in Tampa and he was in Scranton and he was in a lot of other minor league towns where they got to sort of mold who Derek Jeter became, and the same is true of Cal Ripken Jr. Cal didn't get drafted out of high school at 18 years old and go right to the big leagues. He had to go through the same thing, and it's fun to watch these guys go from sort of wide-eyed high school and college baseball players to confident professionals who understand the on-field and the off-field responsibilities that come with wearing an Orioles uniform.
Do your cohorts in other teams in the league, do they ever say to you, is it like dying and going to heaven working for Ripken? Anything like that?
It's really a lot of fun. When I go to baseball conferences, when we meet with other teams in other leagues, they talk about their owner this and their owner that, and a lot of the teams in this league have a lot of history, and their ownership groups are really important to them. But you know, nobody's got a baseball Hall of Famer. Nobody gets to work for a guy that is arguably the greatest infielder in the history of the game. It brings a certain level of excitement to the fans, to the atmosphere here at the ballpark, and we're one of the younger teams in the league, but that doesn't mean that we don't have history and that we don't have something special about this club.
Yeah, I have a familiarity with the New York Penn League, having originally come from Buffalo, New York. And outside of Buffalo, there, at least, I don't know if it's still there was a team called the Batavia Muck Dogs.
Oh yeah, Batavia's still...
They still there?
They're still roaming around.
Oh, because I keep on hearing, oh, it's dying, it's gone, but it's still alive, huh? Yeah.
You know, Brendan Kelly up in Batavia, he's making some really great changes. Batavia is a ball club that the people in that community feel really strongly, like most minor league communities. Yeah. And I think that we haven't heard the last of the Batavia Muck Dogs.
Well, they had out in that team, out in the outfield, they have this, I forgot what it was, like it's something with a big, a cutout in the scoreboard or something. And if you hit the ball through that, everybody's supposed to get a donut or something. I figure, no, it shouldn't just be a donut. They should give them the box of donuts. If somebody hits it through there, I think everybody in the stands should get it. But let's see, you don't have anything out there where somebody could get a free crab or something.
People always forget that the poor player who hits the ball through the donut doesn't get anything. He gets to go home at the end of the night.
Yeah, it's right. It's right. And or take that long bus ride to the next ballpark.
That's right.
That's right. What are some of the things you have to do to keep the players happy and engaged? I mean, I'm sure, you know, they love the game. Yeah, we know they love the game. And we know that they're looking for the next step up. But what do you have to do is there anything special magic in making them be in love with Aberdeen, being in love with Ripken Stadium and stuff like that?
You know, like I said, with them being so new, we really get to set their expectations, and that may not be something that other affiliates appreciate because it's really a fun atmosphere in Aberdeen. They enjoy the people who come out to the ballpark and cheer them on. They enjoy the fireworks. They enjoy the times that we're able to send them out in the community to teach kids to ride bikes at the Boys and Girls Club, or read books to kids at the library, or visit a senior center to talk to folks about baseball who might not get the chance to come out to a ball game. The things that we do that make us community partners and make us part of this community are the things that the guys really enjoy, because the on-field stuff, it can sometimes become a job. A lot of these guys show up having played 50 or 60 high school or college baseball games, and they're tired, and they had to ride the bus for 9 hours, and they got in late, and they've got to go out and do it again the next day. But seeing how excited kids are to come to the ball game, I think that makes it worth it to them. I know it did for me.
Okay, here's the question that I know you can answer. If you can't answer this question, then you're gonna have to find yourself a new job. People out there who are watching, maybe they've never come to an IronBird game. How can they get tickets? There you go, that's a hard question.
Well, there's a lot of different ways that you can get tickets. First and foremost, ironbirdsbaseball.com The internet has taken over, technology has taken over sports, and that is definitely a great way to see what's available. But we also have a really great staff here who can figure out what the right plan for you is, whether it's 4 tickets to opening day, which won't last much longer, or maybe it's a 5-game plan where you can get tickets to all the nights that we have fireworks. They can call 410-297-9292. That might have been too quick.
Well, we'll have it on at the end of the show.
But the people who work here for the IronBirds, myself included, we want to find a way to make it fun for you and make it find the right plan for you to come out and see a ball game.
Well, on that note, now that we know how to get the tickets to the games, thank you, sir. Thanks, Jack, for being with me here, and thank you for being here on location. But I'll be right back. We're going to talk more about the IronBirds and Ripken Stadium in just a bit.
Go IronBirds.
Oh, you're still there. Great. What a beautiful day to be at the ballpark. Well, almost any day is a good day to be at the ballpark, especially out here in Aberdeen at Leidos Field at Ripken Stadium. What did we learn on this show? Well, let's see. We learned so much about Cal Ripken, the Iron Man, and how he and his family started this great enterprise out here, and the relationship between the IronBirds and the Orioles. A lot about the care and feeding of the young baseball players who play at this level. All great stuff. Oh, and all the attractions that the IronBirds have, the food, special attractions like fireworks night. It goes on and on and on out here in Aberdeen. So I'm glad you were with me. This is Ken Kidrowski, and thank you for being on location.